see. Yeah, actually, it's just the integration part. Not actually, I am interested in your product, but that's for a different time for me internally. But from a for this customer for today's purposes, I'm really most interested in the integration and knowing if what if anything we'll need to do in terms of
You can see they're
implementing it
selecting the Dynamics
and
GP
in terms
integration there.
of any product that they need to own. My assumption is that you use the runtime edition of eConnect and they don't need to buy anything. But we'll see. And then the other thing is like, oh, I'm sorry, I meant on my side. Yeah, I was clear.
Okay,
on
so
that
the guy is
from before.
talking
Yeah,
from on the Quosal side,
okay.
and you've got some of what I'm saying on my side, but you're not getting a lot. And so I've also added this narration. So
Okay.
it's going to be kind of a weird demo that's not as good as it could be if they gave it to you. But what you're going to see in this demo is how they configure the integration. So you can see we selected to use the Dynamics GP integration, and you set a couple defaults there on this screen. It's the invoice. You can see at the top it's the invoice setup tab where it's highlighted, and then you're choosing, well, what back office system am I integrating with. And on the GP side, you can select some default information that the eConnect integration tool will need to know. And then you can have, I think, multiple profiles for these integrations as well. So in this case, he's showing us that, look, if we do a sales order, it can come in as a standard order. All those order types on the right, 1 quote, 2 order, 3 invoice, those map directly to how the tables store them in Microsoft Dynamics GP. And if you go down here, all these, what they're calling tab type profiles, these are all required defaults and optional defaults. Well, now he's clicked off that. But they were all GP information.
Sure.
So now he's going through an example like we're going to sell somebody QuickBooks.
Boy, I don't like the
why I
sound of
said
that
that.
at all. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead. Right. Mm-hmm.
Now here's where you're saying, okay, I want this order to post to Microsoft Dynamics GP. So we were talking about a point in time when you can say, yes, I want this to happen. Now, all these things can.
Oh, that's great. So your Quosal integration sets up their inventory item. Right. Right. I had anticipated that, but what I had thought would happen was we would just take the line item and we would need to use whatever integration file you get to create our inventory items so that they could then be, purchased. But it sounds like
So you probably are gathering from the other side of that conversation that they're going to create the item with the integration. So their integration is going to look at sales and inventory. If we need to make the item, it'll make the item, and that's what these profiles are here, and they would have come in if they had been set up. So, but the thing I liked about it is I could see, okay, they've considered price level, they've considered.
So do you have a flag or something on the quote that says, hey, let's send this over as an invoice, or let's send. I'm sorry. The quote process is done, so now they want to order it. So let's create the sales order and the purchase order. Okay. Now, will they actually do the step that you just did manually?
So the answer.
Okay. So that's going to be a process whenever they're done quoting something. So if you go over to standard information, is that the beginning of the quote? Like all the stuff that somebody would put in, like a salesperson? Okay. Okay. Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's okay. You're giving me a good idea.
Yeah. So for this demo, I don't know. It's something in lieu of them giving you a demo, since you're having a little issue getting to hear back from them. But obviously, he's telling me lots of valuable.
I like that order porter a lot. I watched the demo.
They're giving you lots of valuable information.
Really cool.
Essentially, though, I think one thing that they've got that you are looking for is the ability to manually move those orders from Quosal to GP. And that's where you're marking that post status is ready.
Okay. Uh-huh. Okay.
And so you're just saying, how do you want these things to come into GP as an invoice, as a sales order, or whatever, and then it's creating the GP sales order. And then it's telling you what order number that's going to be to look for.
And it did it. Okay, perfect.
It also created some service transactions you can see there. Which those service that really kind of has nothing to do with the topic at hand. He had some other.
Sure. So when you say you don't have batch posting, do you mean on your side or on my side? 'Cause when you were looking at it, okay. And then on my side, what's the identifier for? Or let me see the push options for the sales order. Did I see that yet? I may have already seen that, but could I see it again? Like when you're deciding what you're going to send. No, but you also have a profile or something that you showed me for the inventory item. Do you have you have one for the sales document too, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So that document type maps to how's it going to come in GP.
Okay. So what we could do on the, not that you care too much, but on the GP side, we could use those document type and the document ID to identify what's been pushed across. That way, if they had different types of orders, in fact, in your system, they could have different types of customers that they're quoting too. I can tell you a little bit about what they want to do too, because they do want to, what they'll want to do, and then this will help me know whether you want to try to do some of this in Quosal or let it happen over there. But they do, in a lot of cases, want to order one by one, because the orders they put together are for specific customers that they're not going to order the goods. And they do have the occasion, like you said, where they'll aggregate and do purchases, but a bulk, a majority of the stuff they're going to do is going to be, I sold this and I'm going to order this. So they'll want it to come in to GP and the sales. We can turn the sales order into a purchase order. And when we do that, we can change the vendor or select the vendor or whatever we want. But if you're okay,
I can tell you, I'm going to edit this because now we're going to get into a product demonstration of the sourcing, which you already knew was there, and it's really neat. But I think it's only going to work some of the time for you. A lot of the time, you're not necessarily buying from the vendors that they integrate with. So I don't know. I don't know if that gives you exactly what you're looking for. The thing that I liked about it was that it would map. We could map the document types. It would create the items. It would it would give us identifiers for the documents coming across, and it would let us say push them at a point. Push them. We're ready to push these across rather than automatically happen, which is what I think one of the concerns that you might have had at one time. So hopefully this helps somewhat. I know. Looking at this now, it can't have been as as great as you would maybe like. But
in the eConnect, you don't have a vendor argument or statement or whatever.
Right. I mean, I'm sure the tool is as great as you like. The demonstration, would have been better, obviously, with hearing Kent's side of the conversation.
Sure. So that's fantastic. I think they will love that. So I have a question about that. Do we have a way when we're pushing that in to associate the purchase order that's being made here to the sales order? Okay. So, and we're going to see that on the GP side too, or where's that information shown? Okay. Okay, so you're pushing it in as the sales document commitment on the purchase order. That's fantastic.